So hello, welcome to my YouTube channel everyone, and welcome to this video on open up to different souls. This question was asked in my mediumship development group on Facebook, and if you're enjoying the channel, please feel free to give it a like, feel free to subscribe, it's really good. So how do you open up to different souls? And can you open up to different souls if you haven't had that experience yourself? Now, these questions have been coming up in the Facebook group, and would you have to have experienced something before you can connect to someone in the spirit world, or would you have to have that repertoire within inside of yourself before you had, or would you need to speak to your guides? All these questions came up, and when you think about it, opening up to different souls is making yourself more open. First of all, the question was, do certain mediums connect to souls who have passed in a violent way, so as suicides or murders or something like this? Because what this person was experiencing is they didn't bring through the people that have passed in a violent way. So there are certain things you can look at this. Maybe because one, there's lots of things you can look at it as. You can look like, maybe because they were not ready to communicate. That's a possibility. So the spirit person themselves is not ready to communicate. I had someone pass in spirit in a very violent way, and they were not ready to communicate. They wanted to communicate some things, but they didn't want to go into depth about the way they passed. Also, there's another way. The person who's coming for the reading may not be ready to receive it. So there's reasons why it can't work. One is the spirit is not ready to bring it through. The other is the person who is receiving the message is not really ready to receive it, or to receive that sort of trauma. So I would just like to say to you guys, that's one way of looking at it. Now, the way I see it is, you can say, oh, I need to have, is the spirit world ready, or am I ready, or is the medium ready? Those sort of things. If you're ready to deal with difficult contacts, like with murder and suicide and that sort of thing, then those contacts will naturally come forward. The other questions is, should I ask my guides about this? Now, the answer to that is, you could ask your guides about this. That's no problem. You could sit in the power, and you could ask your guides to influence you. That would be of some help. That would help you develop within this. And the question that you might be asking, is the spirit ready to communicate, or is it not ready to communicate? Now, I know I lost a loved one that died very abrupt, and didn't really want to talk about the details of the way of passing. And that was from the spirit world, because they knew they could re-traumatize the sitter, or re-traumatize me. So in that way, the spirit didn't communicate the way they passed, but they did communicate the way they lived. So we have to become aware of these things, the reasons why they don't come through. So what you got to remember is, don't beat yourself up about these things. Just let yourself, really be good with it. And one thing to remember, the spirit world, they choose the medium. So if we were in a demonstration, there'll probably be 5 mediums, and one spirit will choose that medium to do maybe someone that died abruptly in an accident, or died in suicide, or anything like that. They choose that medium, and the reason being because they know they can do the best job on the night. And they know that they would be really good at bringing the message across. So that's why they would choose a certain medium to do their work. In a private sitting, if someone comes to you, it's totally different than any spirit can come through. So don't try to limit yourself within your readings, thinking, I cannot pick up difficult contacts. I cannot pick up difficult spirits, or what might have passed in a difficult way. You just need to open up to the possibilities. So when you leave yourself open to, like, absolutely anything can happen within your mediumship, when you like that, then it will open up, and then it will happen. the spirit world don't only just choose their medium. Like, you may get a run of doing a lot of people that have passed in an accident, and they may get like, no, another accident, another accident, another accident, and then you may get a suicide, and then another one and another one, or you may get drugs related, and you get another one and another one, another one. The reason because of that is the spirit world do what we call they will let other people know within the spirit world. They'll let souls know there. They'll say, hey, you gotta really keep an eye on this medium. He really does it in a good way, or she does it in a good way. So the spirit world are actually doing what we call spirit marketing for you. They're telling other spirits and souls that you are a medium that can work with this in a good way and bring through this delicate information. And that's why you'll end up starting getting a run of different contacts. Now, to improve your contacts in this, to open up to different souls, one is to change your mindset and just say, I can open up to any sort of soul, doesn't matter, just stretch yourself in that way. And you could do research, research what you don't know, like either watch YouTube videos about certain subjects, or you could read books about it, or watch television about it. And in that way, anything that you've seen or learnt, the spirit world can use within your contacts of mediumship. When I was in Finland, I learnt about the Finnish people. I learnt also about how they are, and also what their favorite foods were. There were certain things that I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know about a certain traditional clothing that they wore. I looked in a book, I saw this traditional clothing, I knew it was the clothing from the north. So when I brought through a gentleman from the spirit world in a demonstration in Finland, it was said, I've got a gentleman here, I know he came from North Finland, he used to wear the traditional clothing, and he used to go there and stay there in a log cabin. In that way, if I had never researched that or looked at it, then the spirit wouldn't have known to have given me that image. So if you want to change your repertoire or the way that you bring through the spirit world, it's about looking at different things and different subjects to build upon, and also to understand, so that you can understand how it feels and also understand how it is. So if you're enjoying this, please give it a like, and if you want to chat with me, please don't forget to write here in the chat. There were some people that are under the impression that you can't open up to different souls if it's not in your personal vocabulary or in your reference. So if you haven't experienced a difficult passing in your life, then you won't be able to bring them through. Well, you would know how it feels, so you could bring them through in that way, but it doesn't make any difference to the people that haven't experienced it. You can bring it through just as much. There's a lot of people that will bring through a mother, a father, a grandfather, a grandparent, but if you want to open up to people that have had accidents and that sort of thing, then just ask the spirit world to bring them to you, and just move into that and stand behind it, that you would like to do that. And just sending the intention out there will make it happen. Now, the person that asked me the question, they said, oh, they had people coming over, they expected these people to come through, but other family members came through. So it's just open you up. When you're connecting to spirit, open up to see if more spirits want to communicate. Sometimes a certain loved one will come through to make the way for a difficult passing. So you might get a mother coming through, making it through for a brother to come through that had an accident or was suicide or drugs related or anything like that, that they'll come through first to set the pathway for the next one to come through. So don't be discouraged if it comes through in that way. So also, you got to keep on your pathway. Keep expanding your knowledge. Keep expanding your knowledge within your mediumship. Keep expanding your repertoire. And the way you do that is just try to ask them to give you something totally out the ordinary. And this is what I like to tell my students: is just really try and get something out of the ordinary. Try and, if you're going to get a grandfather that, that used to do, I don't know, dancing or something, or a grandfather that did wrestling, or get a grandfather that did boxing. I mean, I've had fathers that have done wrestling, boxing, all those sort of things. So it's just getting your mind out of the way. So if you can do that, you'll be opening up to different souls in the spirit world that can work with you. It's about expanding your possibilities by believing more and more in yourself. And remember that the spirit world gives you a review, and they'll tell other souls about you, and they'll say, they did that really well. They were really, caring. They brought through in a good way. And that's why you'll get runs of different accidents or different things or different certain passings of the spirit world. So just feel free to open up to the possibilities in your mediumship. You don't really need that experience in your life. You don't need to have experienced in your life. One thing I've done with students is a good thing is to say, get someone from the spirit world that is very similar to you. Just get that contact. And once you've done that, then try to get someone that is totally opposite to you. There's nothing like you. So in that way, you've got two spectrum of connecting to the spirit world that is totally different. So then if you're going to get, people coming through, just open up to more and just know that it's possible. So, and trying to make different contacts is a good thing. So to expand on your mediumship. So just to recap, if you do want to do this, sit in the power, sit with your guides, ask spirit to let you do it, do your research, look in different books, watch videos, start to learn more about these things, and don't try to grab at the information, but just have the door open for these spirits to come in. And in that way, your mind won't get in the way, because what some mediums do is they try to get the difficult contacts. And really, the spirit world's got to choose you, because the spirit world always choose their medium. So that's one thing to remember. So if they do come through you and it is a difficult passing, just be very proud that the spirit world chose you to be their medium. Okay, so I wish you all a fantastic day, and I look forward to speaking to you again next time.